Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the Omnipotent Merciful, and the person Master Prophet Muhammad, his messenger Elijah Muhammad. This is the messenger of the covenant, Sulman Rahim. Welcome. Bring in my audio audience here. This is my audio audience, Black Alert segment for the Fire Zone. Sisters and brothers, the resurrected nation of Islam. What is that? What is that all about? We're told in scriptures they were great falling away first. But we're given all kinds of explanation of what that means. All kinds of explanations that means. But we follow Exodus, hear what that means. So you've been blinded, brothers and sisters. You have the power of foresight. It's given to you. That's part of our heritage. Our wise scientists write history 24 to 25,000 years into the future. And then they present that history in a period of portions of it when it's relevant. So in chapters, and when a specific chapter or comes up, then it's revealed. We have foresight, what to expect, what to do, so forth, so on. That's the way we do things. We have 24 scientists. 25th is the God himself. There 24 scientists, well, they're all gods, but the 24 scientists get 12 major scientists or 12 minor scientists. And they're the ones that write history. 24 to 25,000 years into the future. Because the earth, it's all based on the earth, because it's all based on the earth, put it that way. The phase of the earth, in other words, earth completes a total change on its axis every 25,000 years. 24 to 25,000 years. So that breaks down into 4 periods, 4 seasons. Same thing as spring, summer, fall, and winter. 6,000 years apiece. And within those periods, with those particular cycles or seasons, there's main events that may take place. And so if a specific event is very, the scriptures, in other words, you have the chapters. And so they see very significant event, well, maybe lasts 1,000 years or 100 years or whatever. Then they reveal that portion to cover that period of time. And then the particular scientists, right? You have 24 of them. That's most maybe I wouldn't say capable, but the most science, the most relevant to that period of time. Capable, I guess capable is okay. That's the one that will reveal that portion of the book. So right now, we have the scientist, Master Prophet Muhammad. He's the one that's dealing with this period of time. With Dr. Yaqub, because he had 6,000 years. He had the winter. That's why Muhammad has the spring. 6,000 years. So the books revealed. And so those books are not a history, because the previous book was the history. Those books are not history. They're foresight. He has people trying to tell you their history to blind you. Because those books are foresight. They don't want you to see that, because if you're blind, then they can handle you. That's one of the things we're going to talk about. So they're foresight. They tell you what to expect during this period of time that scripture revealed. That's relevant. That's relevant for. And so we have the Bible, right? And it was relevant. Sealed Bible. It was relevant up to 1990, and then it was irrelevant. It can still be used, that the Quran still can be used, but then that angel kicks in. That's Book of Revelations. And that takes us up until the time that we return home and we're safe and secure, and the world is totally securely under control of Master Prophet Muhammad and his high priest. And then another book will be revealed. That book is how to set up our paradise. Book of Revelation does not tell you how to do that. It tells you about war. That's what I call apocalypse. It's the covered apocalypse. That's what it's covered apocalypse. Remember, this is a great period, significant period of time, and this book was designed to cover that period of time. Quran does not cover that period of time. It speaks to it, but doesn't cover it. They do not have the guides to get through it. It was mostly relevant for 1,000 years. It tells you in chapter 20. In Revelations, it was relevant for that period of time. That period of time they're hiding from you because they tell you that's future, the so-called millennia, when that's actually European history. Because it tells you there was a resurrection. What was the resurrection? That was the resurrection of Abraham's Islamic empire. See, they don't want you to know that, because they don't want you to see Abraham any connection with what's going on over there. When in fact, he's the one that built it. He set it up. He set up Mecca. He set up Medina. He set up the pilgrims. He set all that up. The scholars know that. It's in the scripture. But they don't want you to know that, because they don't want you, they believe the moon god. They don't see any connection with Abraham because they can't find any way to sully Abraham. See? So Abraham is the one. He's the one who walked with God. They can't find any negative thing on Abraham at all. Nothing. They can go after Moses, they can go after everybody, but they can't touch Abraham. And so that's why they don't want you to connect Abraham with what's happening in the Middle East and the seed of Abraham. Because everyone wants to be the seed of it. See how they want to connect to Abraham? Everybody wants to be the seed of Abraham. You got the false Israel claiming they're the seed of Abraham. You got the Europeans claiming they're the spiritual seed of Abraham. Right? Then you got the Arabs claiming they're the seed of Abraham, which they are, but through Ishmael, he didn't get to inherit. He was the oldest son, but he was the oldest son by his maid, Abraham's maid. So God didn't bless him with inheritance. He blessed the son of Sarah, right, which is Isaac, which is us. We're true to Abraham. Everybody's claiming. So why is everybody claiming to be Abraham? And the whole world is revolved around that, because you can see a lot of the whole world's politics is based on what we're talking about, chapter 13, 666. False Israel. You got three people there, three nations there. You got America, that's God, Magog, and false Israel. See? But they don't read it that way. Talking about Antichrist, all that stuff. It's just three. See? One, false Israel is what they call the clone of, the image of. Why? Because false Israel's government is the image of Britain's government. They clone their government. That's why I said the image of that beast. But it got life and spirit, and it got life and strength and everything from the other beasts, from America. Because without America, false Israel cannot exist, because it's getting political cover, economic cover, military cover, right? In every sense of it. So that's where you're getting it from. But that beast that was giving false Israel all this cover, it had the power to stop anyone from buying and selling unless they did his will or they worship false Israel. That's what it says. And who has that power? Only person, nation on the planet has that power is America. If you don't do what they tell you to do, they sanction you. It's the same. They talk about some Antichrist. They're fooling you to all skin your mind way out in the wilderness someplace else. It's right there. Who is sanctioning everybody? You can't buy or sell if you don't obey America. If you go against false Israel, right? You get sanctioned and you get killed. You get invaded, you get destroyed. That's exactly what it's saying there. That's the 666. America, God, Britain, Magog, and false Israel. That's the three there. That's the Antichrist. God, Magog, and Antichrist. That's the three. It's right there. But they tell you, oh, that's the future. Well, you want to believe that? That's what's up to you. But you won't be able to buy it. They said, well, it's some kind of tattoo you're going to get, right? Some kind of tattoo you're going to get. See? And you believe in that. You better read the whole thing. No tattoo, it's in your mind. If you worship them, you're done. Because you've been deceived. See? And there's no salvation for you. So if when it's so clear and you're still lost in it, then you must be a demon or a devil. And there's no salvation for you in either case. Think about the story of Nicodemus. He didn't know how righteous he was. Jesus, I don't care. Nicodemus, you get it? Demon, Nicodemus. They don't care. We don't want you. I don't care how right. You got to be born again. What do you mean by that? Because you're born a demon, you got to be born original. You got to go back, be born again. Because right now, your father's the devil. You were your father. That's biology. You got to be born again. See, they're going to confuse you with all this stuff. I'm born again. I'm saved. Okay. Let's see about that one. Is your name in the Lamb's Book of Life? Is your name in the Lamb's Book of Life? So if it ain't, what do you save from? Tell me. What do you save from? That's what it says. Because Michael delivered all those in the book. So you in the book, you in Farrakhan's book, you in T.J. Jake's book, right? You in Graham's book, Hagee's book, Silas's book, Royale book. You name those books? So, do they have a book? Have they broken the seals? Think about it, brothers and sisters. They got you off in La La Land with all this BS. When the scripture is very clear. The scripture is very clear on that point. That's who God, Magog is. And they say blind you because they have, you can't see things because you're thinking the past is future and the future is past. You think the millennia, that chapter 20 is millennia, it's the future, was already past. It's happening now. And you think that's what's already the future. You think that's the past. You think Exodus and all that stuff is the past. We live in it right now. Because if you saw Exodus as present and happening, then you would not be deceived by any of this. Show me deceived by the likes of Farrakhan, because he's Aaron, who got all the people killed and destroyed in the end, worshiping the golden calf and carried on. And when you study AL-INJIL, you understand what the golden calf is, because you don't know what the golden calf is. You're guessing. Farrakhan's guessing. AL-INJIL tell you exactly what it is. Sunniism. You need to study AL-INJIL to know that. Very clear once you see it, once you understand, study it. So that's how they blind you, by getting you to think the future is past and past future. They're playing with scripture. And the scripture will not be revealed until the end. But Daniel sealed, and so is Revelation. And the whole Bible is under a veil that tells you that, until it be revealed when the seals are broken. And then the veil will come off. So if you haven't broken the seal, that means you have no idea what that book is saying. See? It was given a guidance to Adam, but it was to rule 6,000 years. It was the guidance for him for the last 2,000 years. Well, that's so-called New Testament. The Old Testament goes back further. See, they've been mixed and shed blood, but they needed guidance to maintain their power. It's something I'm not going to talk about any further here. I've talked about in the past. I'm going to get to the main point here. If you're driving down the highway and you look in the rearview mirror, how you going to end up? How are you going to end up if you look in the rearview mirror driving on the highway, 100 miles an hour? How are you going to end up? That's an easy call, ain't it? And that's what they got you doing. See? Because they're looking forward. They tell you all that's past. You look in the past when the things are happening right around you right now. All things talking about happening around you right now. See? And things that are so clear that you couldn't miss, they cover that up or they don't talk about it. Like they tell you false Israel is the true seed of Abraham, right? And they the ones return that the whole story, right? But then you got a verse that kills that cold. What is that? When you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, who controls Jerusalem? Jerusalem is the capital of what? Is the capital of Iraq? Yeah. Right? Is the capital of Jordan? Or is the capital of false Israel? Who controls it? When you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, you know its destruction is near. That means it's going to be destroyed. And that totally gets the whole thing, because the whole idea of Israel is that once it's returned, it cannot be destroyed. But it's telling you, those people are going to be destroyed. So that tells you right there, without any doubt, they're fake. Identity theft. We're going to talk about that a little bit. I'm going to keep these, to like an hour. These presentations about an hour, so we get to it. But I want to talk about pacification. You know what pacification is? It comes from the same thing as pacifier. And you had a baby before. I mean, all of us have been babies at one time. Well, calm you down, mom will give you a pacifier. Now it has no milk and it has no nutrients or anything in it. It's just something you suck on. Keep you pacified. And the baby's tricked into thinking, hey, he's getting something out of this, right? He just sucking on it. So it quiets down. They had a term in the military also, pacification. If they take over a city or a town or whatever, they don't have to fight the people in there. They don't know all that. So you have to find a way to pacify them. Distract them, give them something they like to do, and so they take their mind off the fact of their condition. It's the same thing in the Holocaust we're still going through. Don't let them tell you slavery. Slavery is the economic part of it. Slavery was just the economic part of it. The capitalist part. Maximum profit, minimum overhead. That's slavery, that's a capitalist dream. We were slaves under capitalism that you claim you love so much. They said capitalism free the world of poverty. No, capitalism impoverished the world. Profit, by definition, is exploitation. And we was exploited. But that was just the economic side. What about the other side? What about this side? That wasn't slavery. That was like slavery to you. It was a Holocaust. Went through 400 years of horror. 24/7, 365 times 400. And the estimate is over like 200 to 400 million black people, Africans. The Holocaust. Don't let them bullshit you. It's a whitewash. That's not slavery. There's been slavery around the world. It doesn't include that. Look up the definition of slavery. See if it includes rape, murder, kidnapping, oppression, and all that, and castration. No. The Holocaust. They don't want you to know it that way. Oh, you're in slavery. No. They working you, not paying you. That's slavery. If they raping you, beating you, and killing you and everything, that's not slavery. No, that's not the definition. And that's happened to us, a Holocaust. They look like slavery to you. See? Like this so-called CRT. It wasn't no damn theory. That's a whitewash. They don't want the children know what they did. Don't tell my children, teach my children this stuff. Well, if that's your history, you're such good people, why you upset about your children knowing about what you did? You should be celebrating your children and know about your history. So why you hiding it? Why you don't want them to know? It's telling them it's a theory. It ain't no damn theory. That's another whitewash. Try to minimize the whole situation. And some of you buy it. Then you got these demons out here. They write books about we came over here on a visa and carrying on. What's a demon? That's their children. The chaff sowed amongst the wheat. They're Caucasians with black skin through rape. They ain't our people. That's biology. You know what your father is. You don't have to argue that way. You don't have to find. Go out with the biologist. The man carries the seed, period. And nothing that ate changes nature. But that's the game they play. Because in other words, unless you're pure white, see, that's a race in itself. You can't be white unless you're pure white. If you got anything else in your mutt, you can't be pure white. You see, that's racist in itself. No, I don't care what we don't deal with skin tone here. We ain't saying white people evil. We ain't saying black people evil. We're saying you're evil based on your nature. Master Muhammad, right? The science of this period of time, the God's period of time, he's white, but his father's original. Don't get it twisted. They got these demons running. That's what a demon is. See? If your father's Caucasian and your mother's other than Caucasian, then you're a demon. Anyway, you got them writing, hey man, we came over here on a visa. And we were so wicked and everything that they had to put us in chains. See all kind of stuff going on, the whitewash whole situation. But get back to the main point. See? Let's look this little history right here. See? We ain't gonna talk about the demon genesis. I did a presentation on that already. But we officially came over in 1555. It took 64 years to convert us from Kuti Kindi to Toby. 64-year period. The official date of slavery, they said 1619. They hide the 64-year part, right? Because it took 64 years to convert us, okay, into Negro butts. First Negro butts came running off the line, off the assembly line, right, and the programming line, or whatever you want to call it, in 1619. It took 64 years to make through that programming. So the first robots, biological robots, Negro butts. Programmed to self-destruct, programmed not to think, programmed not to ask any questions, programmed to obey master in everything, no matter what, programmed not to ask any questions. That's what you're doing. And right now, you're still in that same situation. Came off, they stamp you, right? You came off Amos Richardson, which was not a last name, it was a brand. But if you was owned by Master Richardson, then that was who your last name was. But they changed you to move you to told you Master Blackstone. You came Amos Blackstone. You still working on those names. That show you still Negro butt. Still confused. Still programmed. And then they produce these terror butts, which are the demons, and they're probably to stick around, stay around you because you can't distinguish them. They're the wolves in sheep clothing. They look like you were talking. They're around you, so you can't distinguish. You can't know who they are. And their whole job is to watch you, to report on you, to make sure you stay under control, make sure your program stays intact. Because if you start asking questions, something wrong with your program, they go in there, got to reprogram you, or they got to take and tweak you, right, or whatever it takes, right, reboot you, get you back online. They can't get you back online, they deactivate you. This is what's going on, brothers and sisters. And right now you have this going on right all around you. That's their job. See? And that's what gets this pacification situation. So 1619 rolled in, because it says half the black people in America right now is half a Negro butts and half a terror butts. Terror butts are the demons. They're supposed to keep you in fear. report on you, keep you in fear, keep you terrorized within you, so you don't know. So now you start hating yourself because say, man, look at that. Look at that. They were killing each other. Blacks killing each other. No, blacks are not killing each other. See, it's got the terror bus killing us. When you see Chicago, that stuff going on, those are their people. They're not our people. We don't act like that. Scripture tell you that. You got those of the flesh and of the spirit. You understand, Revelation understand that. See, we're not like that. But they are. But they're amongst us, so we take the hit for what they're doing. All the stuff on TV, all the stuff they're doing, they're acting fool, pimps, hoes, whatever. That's not us, that's them. And Farrakhan's telling you, why y'all so simple? He's one of them. His father's the devil. Google it. Google his bio. They got a picture of him. Percival Clark. We surrounded, it said, read Mark, we were plagued with demons. I'm going to do the pacification part of it. Because I'm going to put all this thing in perspective. Because that's their job is. And that's the first battle that Jesus or Suleiman or Joshua, whatever name you want to call him, son of man, would be the demons. He'd have to take out the demons first. Because we was plagued by them. He'd take out the demons first. See? The accuser of our brethren are cast down. Who's accusing us? Ain't the devils. It's Farrakhan. Hey man, y'all wicked, y'all evil. See, well, the devil's here, bring out what's in you and all this stuff. See, Messenger didn't teach that stuff. I was with the Messenger from 70 to 75. They departed. They talking about this Messenger Black. You know, I helped print those books. And they're going to try to make you think that everything Elijah Muhammad taught is in their books. Everything, that's it. Everything he did, all the wisdom he got is in the Message of the Black Man, Fall of America, How You Live, I Say the Right. That's stupid. His whole 42 years is in those books. There's a whole lot Elijah Muhammad taught about ain't in those books. But I was a witness to it. I was in Chicago. I wasn't in New Jersey. I was in Chicago. I was right there. I pulled security for him. You understand? My wife worked directly for him because she ran his MGT dress shop. Don't give me that BS. They walk around with this stuff. There's a lot of things he said that ain't in those books. And they're not relevant now. They walk around, hey, okay, well, stick with that. Go with that. Because he don't talk about demons in there. You didn't know what a demon was if I came and told you. Farrakhan's the main demon. Because they said they would come here from every elevated place. From every elevated place they would come at you. So they finally got hold of the Nation of Islam. He sat in the seat. The son of perdition, he was sitting in Elijah's seat. Aaron, he was sitting in Moses' seat. For 42 years, about 42 years. And then he would lead all this, he would be destroyed along with all his followers. They tell about Aaron, but they don't tell about that part. They didn't want you to know about Abraham, the covenant. They don't want you to know about that part. He talks about the affliction side. He don't talk about the reward side, and we're going home. He said, we ain't going nowhere. We're not going anywhere. That's what he said, we're not going anywhere. That's not what Abraham, the covenant says. But excuse me, Mr. Farrakhan. If Father America said America be destroyed, if you claim that you understand chapter 18 about Babylon falling, it said to be burnt down totally. Malachi said to be burned, right? Utterly burnt down. Burned as an oven. So if that's the case, then why do you want to stay here if it's going to be destroyed? Make any sense? But anyway, those that follow the demons, they have no choice. Anyway, let's talk about this. Let's take a scenario. Now, back when we was in the chains, right? Okay, we had demon preachers. What was they telling you? Obey master. Do master tell you. See, they call up the Bible. Okay? Obey master tell you. Obey master. They was doing that's what master wanted to say. They demons, but they was profiting because the more hard we worked, the better they did. Because we were like dogs, right? If a master's poor, dog eat craps, right? He might have to go out and fish, find food for himself, right? But dog master get a little better, right? Then dog might get dog food. Master get a little richer, he might get hamburger. A little richer, he might get, some pork chops. You know what I'm saying? So he did better. The better the master did, the better the dog did. So the more the master worked us, got the more he got out of us, the better the house Negroes did, his children. Because he didn't let you in the house, he only let his children in the house because he could trust them. Because they loved them. The only problem they had is that he didn't treat them like they treated his white children. That's the only problem they had with them. That's the only problem I have with them right now. I talk about the demon gen, I go all the way from end to end, the conflict we had every step of the way, right? Started from sharecropping in the 1860s, right? The 20s, right? With Eurocentric, first you had the sharecropping city conflict. Original people wanted to get the hell away from there. Demons want to stay with master because he said you couldn't stay in the house no more because he wasn't going to support you. Now he had no more slaves out, no more, out there working in the fields. They said you weren't going to live off us, you can live off of them. They was just children though. So they threw them in, so they threw us in the ditch and them along with us. See? So you had that conflict right there between those who want to stay with master, sharecropping, and those who want to get the hell away from him. Then the next phase was in the 20s, right, where you got a church Eurocentric and Afrocentric. With Noble Ali, Marcus Garvey, Elijah Muhammad, Master Muhammad, and then you got Du Bois and Booker T. Washington, all these people. There's a conflict there. And then you move forward in the 60s, right? Then you got integration, and separation. Then you got conflict there. So they said we should be fighting for integration. We don't want to be, we want to get the hell out of here. They want to get close to the master. They had a conflict, and it caused a lot of violence between us that you don't know about. They don't tell you. And so now we're 50 years later. See, there's the cycles there. I'm not going to go to the background behind it, but there's cycles there. Now we're about to break through, we're about to leave this time, and they're going to stay. But there's going to be a big conflict between us. Because they're going to try to convince us, because here, see, at that time, first, they wanted to be close to the master, right? Then they want to start thinking, act like master, right? First close, sharecropping, 20s, right? Think like master, right? Then 60s, right? Integrate, want to live with master, live in the house with master, and sleep with master, sleep with master's children. And now, 50 years later, they want to take over the house. Oh, they're going to fight. They're going to try to take over the house. You just come, it's coming. You already see it. You don't see the smoke. Black Lives Matter. They violent. They want to take over this place. That's what Farrakhan saying. He says, this place belongs to us. We're going to take it. We're going to inherit this place. How are you going to get it? You're going to get it through voting. You don't have the numbers. How are you going to get it? You have to read between the lines there. It's going to get it's getting violent now. It's going to get married by. You think this thing, you think it's a Roe v. Wade thing? It's just heating up, right? It's going to get very violent. We have a race war in a few more. I'm talking about this year. I ain't talking about years away from now. I'll put my name and word out there. It's going to get very violent. But they're going to try to take over. You don't think that's possible? That was the Black Panther. They thought they were going to do something like that. They were weak now. Now they try to take over. Politically, economically, trying to take over. But we don't want to have nothing to do with that. We don't want to take over America. We want to get the hell out of here. And there's going to be a conflict between us and them, right? Because they're going to try to get us, help them try to take over America. We don't want no parts of it. That's them. I'm not going to go into all details about that. I may go into another presentation going very excruciating detail about it, but I did talk about it already. You go back and look up one I called the Demon Genesis. Talk about that. They'll try to take it over. But like I said, let's take a scenario. Now you're back on the chains, right? But you're still a slave. You're still here in America. How you still not a slave? I can make it very clear to you. You're still here. They release you from prison, but you're still in the prison. But no, you're not in the cell anymore, but you're still in the prison. You can't leave outside the prison. You're still here. You're still in their control. You still obey their rules, their laws. Anyway, So you had the preacher. Okay, master, you demon. See? You put the religious side. That's where he coming. Then you got, right? You got the terror butts. They're around to keep confusion, keep you divided, causing fights and stuff amongst you, make you think you're fighting against yourself, so you never can come together as a unit and try to fight back anything. So they constantly amongst us, keeping all kinds of trouble going, fearing us. See? Plus, when whipping time stuff and everything, they would use the terror bus to do it. See? They always just keep us terrorized. These are demons. So I'm just trying to show you. And then you got the pacifiers. I'm not going to talk about every group. I'm going to just talk about those groups. Maybe I mention another one. But pacifiers. Those are the ones that try to keep you from running away. See? Keep you distracted. Right? Pacifiers. What do I mean by pacifier? Instead of like putting a pacifier in a baby's mouth. These are entertainers, sports. You got NBA, NFL, because you're all into that. Your hair's all up their ass. See? So you're not paying attention to what your history, what's going on with these people, what's going on. Let's deal screwly with them. Let's stop them from being a nation, come being a nation. So their name we remember no more. It ain't my fault, it's about you. And that's the same way they do in the military. They pacify, give people strength, give them something they like, right? Or something they like, so they get their mind off of retaliating or trying to regain their freedom. It's use energy against the enemy. That's what they're doing. They're pacifying you. And you all in it. Oh man, I know about LeBron, I know about this. You ain't studying mathematics, you ain't even think about leaving here. They was told you leave here dead tomorrow. Well, hold it, man. It's Super Bowl, man. I gotta check Super Bowl out. See, they'll show you a Negro butt. Oh man, look. See, I got hitmen at me right now, just saying that. Because they don't want to hear nothing else. I go to the gym, that's what they want to hear. I don't want to talk that. You don't want to talk about it. No, I don't want to talk about that. You want to talk about calculus? You want to talk about trigonometry? You want to talk about engineering? You want to talk about biology? Yeah, I'll talk about that. That's something me. I don't want to hear a goddamn thing about no LeBron. He don't give a damn about me. Where's he at? He's out there with them. See, they got white girls in the army and everything else. They're out there with them. As soon as they got integration, that's what they wanted to open. They fled to master. That's where they want to be, in the master's house. Care about you. He's selling all these. What's the one that sells all these sneakers and carrying on? $500 and everything for these sneakers. You know, he got enough money he could buy sneakers for all these black kids. But no, he's making more money off of it. They know they can't afford them kids. They can't afford that. Now they kill each other over those damn sneakers. And you go along with it because you're still programming. Your program is about to be short-circuited. Because you're going to rise, brothers and sisters. You may not like this, but you're going to rise, and then you're going to be sorry. But you're going to rise. You're going to rise in this year. It ain't going to be a long time from now. In a few more days. Because what you see what's happening right now around you, you don't see anything around you because all you see is the NFL, NBA. I don't care about you. He's already told you don't care about you. So he ain't even black. You don't mess with anything black. Neither is Michael Jackson, but you love him. As soon as they get what they want, they pull a mask off and you see who they really are. Venus and all of them. You run to a master and trying to take the skin off. They make sure their children ain't cursed with that black skin. Candace, Rose, all these people. Because you know what demons. So you thought they was just. You thought they was you, so therefore you start hating yourself. You're hating black people, hating yourself, your own people. But they weren't your people. They show you they weren't your people. They don't care about you. As soon as they got two nickels, they rubbed together and the door was open, they ran in the master's house, and they out there in the suburbs, had nothing to do with you, nothing, zero. Then the politicians, right? I said I want to talk about all the groups, but I talk about the politicians too. They make sure you stay. See, they make sure you stay here in the ghetto. They come and get your vote, but they make sure you stay here. They got all these policies and stuff to make sure you stay down, but you don't even see it. I'm gonna talk a little bit about some of this. I'm gonna let it go. Right? These politicians. But before I go there, like I said, all these you see all these theories and everything else. Pacification to get you minds locked into this stuff, so you don't pay attention to what's going around you while they're closing in on you. They closed in on you. But I guess since I said that way, I guess I might go connect up with the politicians. See? Because they're paid, because they're demons, all of them, to keep you. See, it's a two-stage process. Pacification keep you pacified, and the politicians make sure you stay in your condition. You stay away from massa and your ghetto. See? Make sure you never break out. See? And since America's all about money, they make sure you never have enough to break out. And these so-called Democrats. You know, see, the whole is in the word. Democracy, right? Democracy, right? If you look it up, that's like government principle, right? And demon, short for demon. It means government for demons, by demons, for demons, and by inference, devils too, because demons are devils. See? But God says He wants kingdoms. He said kings. See? He said Jesus will be a king, will be a president. You wouldn't vote for him. But you hear people, dictator, hate dictators. Ain't Jesus a dictator? Read it. See, because the God they worship is Satan. Because Satan sets up presidents. God sets up kings. Jesus will be King of kings, Lord of lords, not presidents of presidents. And you ain't going to vote for him. If you don't do what he tell you to do, your ass is going to go to hell. That's what they're telling you, right? Isn't that what dictators do? But they hate dictators, don't they? You see what I'm saying? You better pay attention to what's going on, because Jesus told you who's controlling this world. Satan. The Satan is God of this world. When he confronted Jesus in the desert, did he say, I got all the kingdoms except America? Did he say that? Or did he say, I got all of them? And all you got to do is give me some propers and I'll work for me, right? And I'll set you up. I'll hook you up. See? It's Satan they worshiping. You're going to tell me, you want to say Jesus is the one that was condoning stealing this land and genocide? We killing all those people, women and children. When the soldiers, when they killed women and children, talking about what's happening in Ukraine, they killed women and children, babies, the whole 9 yards. They call them what? They call them Syrians. They wiped them all out, genocide. They had no mercy on none of them. Dumped them down with their horses. Dumped babies in the ground with their horses. This they did. And then they brought us over here and did worse to us for 400 years, the Holocaust. Worse to us. See? So you say that's the way Jesus rolls? Well, if Jesus rolls that way, then what problem you got with Satan? What problem you got with Satan if Jesus rolls that way? It says the devils will go out to what? Steal, kill, and destroy. How did he get this country? Time card? An invitation? Or they come and steal it. What do the inhabitants? They send them down to the Bahamas on vacation? Or they wipe them out, genocide. How did we get over here? Oh, why don't y'all come over here and, apply for a job? We need some workers. Or they kidnap us, drag us over here, and destroy us as a nation. Get real. See? So you want to keep talking about playing it like they good people and they with God. No, they with God, they with Satan. So, so Democratic Party, the ones that you say you love, and those blacks, there's a whole story about that. You need to check out what's his name, Gus Savage, but he revealed on that he's one of them, but he got pissed off, so he spilled the beans. But he sent all your jobs to China. Look how powerful China got, and they destroyed Detroit. All the places black folks had power, economic power, they destroyed it. And Black Caucus was right voting for this stuff. So and Biden was the main one pushing this whole thing about a mass incarceration, all that kind of stuff. And Clinton, he finished it off. He got your welfare, and then he gave it to the people who came up Russia claiming they was Jews. They got the welfare, and they got bank loans and everything else. And what you got? More prisons. So they kept you poor and imprisoned. And the black politicians was voting for all this stuff, the demons. That's how they keep you down, keep you under control, keep you on the plantation, make sure you never can escape. So now you got that. Then you got the classification, right? The demons on TV, on sports, on news, whatever, TV, Hollywood. They ain't you. Look how they act. Do they exalt you? Think about it. Do they exalt you? No, because they hate that skin color just as much as their daddies do. And so they make mockery of it. Because they mock you on TV and movies every day. You make you look like fools, pimps, hoes. They got your women jelly rolls all over the place, your nose right be cracking their butt, everything else. And you just laugh in the counter and support that kind of stuff. That ain't you. But that's the way the whole world sees you. Who's sponsoring all that stuff? False Israel. Why? Okay, just think about it. Let's just lay out the whole thing here. You're going to steal somebody's identity, right? You represent yourself as the real deal, right? The last thing you want is the real deal to show up. Because if you got a fake and nobody knows the fake ain't the real deal, then they pay for it, everything else. They think that's the real deal. Until the real deal shows up, then the real deal shows up, right? Then you see the fake. You know, you've been had. So the last thing you want to do is let the real deal show up. Because they're going to expose you as being a fake. And if you can't stop them showing up, then your fallback position is to get hold to it, mar it, and taking do whatever you can, right? To mar it, to spoil it, whatever, right? So if it does show up, it's so marred, so corrupt, it's so messed up, that nobody would believe it's real anyway. Fallback position. That's exactly what's going on here. Because false Israel has taken over our identity. So they make sure we stay poor and everything down so we can never show up. Even though we got the credentials, we got the 400 years, we got everything, right? That proves that we're true to Abraham. They have none. They can't prove any of that stuff. They claim all that happened to them in the past. Yet still, it tells you right in the Bible that it didn't. And they admitted it didn't because they got confronted with Jesus. When they confronted Jesus, Jesus said, the truth will make you free. And he said, what you talking about? We never been enslaved to anybody. That was probably 2,000 years ago. And they talking about something happened 2,000 years before that. They said, nothing ever happened to us. And Jesus didn't argue with them about it. But now all of a sudden that's them. Because they don't want Elijah Muhammad. So that we're true to Abraham, and they couldn't have that happen. Because who would they be then? Because they couldn't be the righteous, good people they say they are. Because they're pressing God's seed, the true seed of Abraham. That means this ain't because they remember that everybody's trying to be seed Abraham. So they say it's spiritual seed. So that means that the spiritual seed, America is the promised land. So America is the promised land. That means killing all these people and everything didn't mean anything. Taking this land, it was promising them. So that wasn't thievery. And wiping those people, they was like vagrants, man. Cockroaches, get rid of them. So they wouldn't do anything wrong. And then on that condition, right? We Ham, we know it's a corrupt son, right? Shem, whose seed was cursed black. That's how we got black, right? Ham, encouraged to be slaves forever. So by enslaving us, they ain't doing anything wrong. So all they got the whole scenario. So they can walk around, man, they proceed, we good people, man, we doing God's will, you know, everything. But then it comes along and Elijah Muhammad says, hey, hold on, hey, full stop on that one. No, we choose Abraham. If that's true, then everything turns on its head. You understand? That means they ain't God's, they ain't the speech Abraham. They've been oppressing God's people, the apple of God's eye. That means they came over here and they didn't come over here. This land belongs to them. They stole it. And the people in the neighborhood was murderers. They were genocide and murderers. See, they don't want that thought process going. That's what abomination of desolation is all about. They don't want that. So therefore, what did they do? They stole our identity. They set false Israel to counter Elijah Muhammad's claim because they would just burn those people up just a few days earlier. 1,000 years they was hating these people, hating them with a passion. So it came to the point where they was actually burning them up. Found a solution. And then next day they loving them. After 2,000 years, because after Elijah Muhammad made that statement, they said, hey, wait a minute, we got to put the stop on this. So he had to come with an arrangement. So that, no, they choose Abraham and they see they going back to return. Oh, it's BS. And then they got to make sure, and then they got to blot out the whole, they got to blot out and our claim. That's what they did. Because when Elijah Muhammad departed, they put Farrakhan, the demon, up there, and we ain't going anywhere. See, in other words, he called Elijah Muhammad a liar. He called Master Muhammad a liar because the whole purpose of Master Muhammad coming here, if you study him, I studied him, I was there, right? I wasn't there with him. I was there with Elijah Muhammad, right? The whole purpose of Master Muhammad come and tell us about the Abrahamic covenant. Remind us of it. And tell us, but he's here to fulfill it. And Elijah Muhammad's mission for 42 years is to take and prepare us for it. Prepare us to leave. Prepare us for Joshua when he comes in, it's going to actually take us home. But Farrakhan said we ain't going anywhere, so he called everybody, all of them liars. That's what they want. Dismiss that claim. The Sunnis wanted to, because that's our land. They stole it from us. They betrayed us. They are brothers, Arabs, now they're going to turn white. They used to be black. That's one of the reasons I was showing pictures of my Prophet Muhammad. They didn't know what he looked like. You mean just going to have a picture? That means people didn't know what he looked like? Nobody wrote a description of him? Come on. You don't have to see a picture. All the people was there, and he's a prophet, right? And he's the Quran, he raised up so, and nobody wrote a script, don't have any picture. That's right. Since nobody said no, there was no artist around that wrote draw a picture of him. But nobody gave a description of him? No one? Are you kidding me? Because he's a black man. That's why I didn't want you to know it. Or no picture of him. Well, you wouldn't know about the description. It didn't know forbidden to give you a description, was it? The Bible gives you a description of the Son of Man, gives a description of ancient days, says you were black with woolly hair. But they give Joe Witness and everybody, they got, you see a picture of Jesus. It ain't the picture you see in the Bible. Ain't nothing like it. So they in cahoots with the whole thing. That was no either. Zulu don't want to know. But I'm saying, get back to this whole thing about image. So they can't keep you from showing up. They can mar, and that's so. Who is marring our image? Hollywood. Who controls Hollywood? Who controls it? These movies there. Who controls it? They control our image. And they make us look like fools, ignorant, everything. So if we do show up, everybody say, man, those people could possibly cheat Abraham. Look at them. They thieves, they drug addicts, they drug dealers, right? They hoes, they pimps, they bitches, they niggas. See what I'm saying? Don't you see the pattern there, brothers and sisters? They destroy our image so much that nobody could possibly, that we could be the real deal if we show up. That's going to be changed. That's why Elijah Muhammad was such a threat to them, because he raised up people and he gave them credibility. I mean, it was serious, take care of business. The women was pious and smart, intelligent, take care of business, right? And the brothers take care of business and things like that. There, that was the image we weren't supposed to have. Because we're supposed to be ignorant, dumb monkeys. And I said that over there, show who we could be. He only showed it, he only showed it a shadow of what we will be. Only a shadow. And that scared the hell out of them because that was destroying the whole thing. Because remember, they got the whole world looking like we monkeys and we deserve what we got. But we had no sympathy. We stupid, ignorant people. And they did us a favor by bringing us over here because we was being, I've had white people tell me that. Oh man, you know, y'all should be glad. I've had them actually tell me, be glad. Because man, y'all have been eaten by tigers and lions and stuff over there. And we brought you, y'all should be glad. We civilized you. They think that way. See? But I'm going to tell you, that's what they think. We should be glad they brought us over here and civilized us. No, we civilized them, actually, when you think about it. That's another story altogether. I'll talk about it. We civilized them because they came out of Europe and they fled Europe. They were fleeing like shithole. Why they were fleeing it? It was so great. Why were they fleeing it? They're so great people. How could they make Europe into a shining city on the hill? Europe was a shithole. Disease, tyranny, everything you could think of in there. Poverty, the whole 9 yards. They were fleeing it. But the problem was, they thought they were fleeing it, but they was it. That was what they was fleeing. And so they brought it all over the world. They brought that disease and everything all over the world. It spread all over the world. Because they was fleeing. They corrupted the world. Somebody say they corrupted the world. What disease, war, and everything else. That's a whole story, another story. I'm gonna get back to this pacification. That's the main thing I want to tell you about. They got you pacified. See, the time that you spent watching NFL things, you could have got your degree. You had to go get a piece of paper. They got also got so much information online. You can just go in and study, and you get you get the knowledge. You want a certificate, you can go get that too. But you get the knowledge. But no, you can know all about what King James did, about what LeBron did. See, from the time he was born up to now, but you don't know, you can't tell what derivative is. You can't tell what logarithm is. You can't tell what sine or cosine is, right? You can't tell any of that stuff. See, you don't know what a vector is. See, you don't know what a differential equation is. You don't know what calculus is. You don't know any of that. None of it. See? But you know all about King James or LeBron Jones, LeBron, whatever his name is, right? You know all about his statistics. How stupid that is. See? Because they got you pacified while they close in on you. And then once they close, see, you see people out here, they all down with this, they all down with the flag and everything until their son get their head blown off by a cop. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I'm with you, black, I'm with y'all, man. I was like, cry. See, that's where you're gonna be. But we're gonna save a lot of you because Master Muhammad's getting ready to short circuit your programming because he's getting ready to take down false Israel. Better read chapter 12 again. The war is gonna break out in the Middle East. It's not this thing in Russia. That's wars and rumors of wars. Armageddon is a war, a European war. Europeans were fighting against themselves, right? And that's gonna be sparked by the war in the Middle East between Rod and his angels, Michael and his angels, which are the Shia. He's their 12th imam, and Gog and Magog, which remember I told 666, Gog, America, Britain, false Israel. And they're going to be defeated. But when false Israel will be taken down and destroyed. When you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, and when they destroy it, that's going to short circuit your programming. Because you've been programmed to believe it's Christianity, all that kind of stuff, right? That they're the real deal. When you find they ain't, the whole world finds you true to Abraham, you're going to short circuit your programming, and then you're going to rise up. When they should be born in a day, and then you're going to be angry. Because you've been programmed so long, and now you snap out of it. And it's going to be terrible in this country. As soon as they get defeated there, they're going immediately into war, into Armageddon, war in Europe. And they're going to be destruction here. But these demons, they're going to go to war. Like I said, they're going to be first. They're going to be fighting with us, but they want us to help fight them, take down Massa, and we're going to have to go to war with them to get them away from us, be free of them. Then they're going to war with Massa. You better read Mark. It says then they fled into the swine, the demons, and they got to fight up the hill together, walk the cliff together. They're going. It's going to be terror in this country. See? Those who are with the Lamb's Book of Life, those who get on board with this message in time, right? It says Michael, right? Master Muhammad would deliver all of those. They would not hear the faintest sounds of raising groans of hell. Time unprecedented trouble, we're going to be moved out of it. Time Jacob's trouble, we'll be removed out of it. And those of you that didn't pay attention, you're going to be in it. And it's going to last 1 year. See? That locust plague, it's going to last 5 months. These demons are going to go back, fight master. They're going to toe to toe, trying to take this country. They're going to fool them into taking this country. Go hear them talking right now. They're going to get guns. He's not talking, we got guns. Where you going to get the bullets from? When you run out of bullets, you're going to go back to master. Master got some more bullets to shoot you with. It's stupid, but but it doesn't matter. I mean, it's not stupid for the demons. They have no choice, but we don't want them. We just got to kick their ass, kick them where we must. And then they find that master didn't want them either. The master don't want them either, but they're useful. They're useful idiots, because they use them to keep us under control. But now they no longer have us here. They don't need them anymore. So they're going to get rid of them, and that's why they get to fight together. Because then they realize they have no place to go. They can't leave with us. We don't want them. Now they're here. Master don't want them. They're trying to take a country, and they get defeated. And when they get defeated, as they are defeated, you see China and India, who, as a result of Armageddon, Europeans tearing themselves apart, have elevated to power status, and now they're looking for revenge. Now they're rolling up on the West Coast. And read Daniel, that goat, that's American Britain, and that's China and India, that leopard, yellow with brown spots, rolled up on the West Coast, feet not touching the land. They coming angry. They ain't forgot. They're going to destroy this country. See? But demons will be destroyed just before that. They won't be around when that happens. But they just got destroyed. Then here comes 200 million man army in the angel Revelations. Here they come. They're going to take. They hate this country so much. They ain't gonna just kill it and then say persecution, racial slaughter. No, they're not gonna kill it right out. Do that. Once they take control of it, they're gonna siege all the cities. Keep food from going in and out. Any food going in, keep anything going in. They're already playing games. They're already buying up all. They buy up all the land. Well, it's already happened right before your eyes, but you ain't paying attention because you listen to all this. You got your head up, Kobe's ass and all those people, LeBron. It's happening right before your eyes. They always tell you food shortages on the way, wage and all that stuff, because they're crumbling. I can tell you the math of it, but that's not for this session here. And so it said that people are going to be starving. They said children become gray-headed. They're going to just starve for a few months. They said they're going to be so bad. Just read it. In the scripture, it said it'd be so bad that a woman that was pregnant, right, that she's going to hide the fact that she's in labor. She's going to, I don't know. I never had a baby. I'm not a woman, right? I talked to them about that. They said it's almost impossible for a woman to keep that silent because there's so much pain. They said she's going to have that baby in silence because she expects to eat that baby when it's born. She don't want her husband or nobody to know to share it with. But she's going to keep it silent. That's what it says. It says right in there. And children be running around gray-headed because they're afraid if they're hungry, they know mama's going to eat them. He just looked around and said, Mom, where's Emily? And they see Emily's hair floating on the soup. See? You got to get the hell out of there. So then they got roving kids gray-headed because they got no place to stay and they're out in the street. And the weather's going to be extremely terrible. There's going to be sun, extremely terrible. The weather's going to be like you've never seen before. And now they roam the streets trying to find somebody to eat, and they can't eat each other. That's why she'll be gray. Nothing like this happened in the Holocaust. People get gray, so it's going to be worse than that. But brothers and sisters, those of you pay attention, understand, you won't hear any of that. When our people rise, right? Those that rise before we leave here, it says this gospel we're preaching all the world, it will come. That's right after we take down Son of Perdition, Farrakhan and his people. We take down, then we have a national, international voice, and this we preach all the world, and it will come. All those that's been those time makers, those people hang with Farrakhan and trying to block the truth or won't acknowledge it or whatever. Ain't no sense of you coming up here because you ain't you're going through tribulation, and even if you go to survive tribulation, you might as well not survive it because you don't want to run to what we got for your ass. See? But every one of our people that's lost, my people lost for lack of knowledge, will be on your blood and your hands. When my people, when our people rise, you don't be around those people when they found that you was part of the reason why they didn't get it, why they took so long to understand. They think they're gonna feel about you. When they find their mother died, their parent, their mother, sister died, their uncle died, their father died, and everything, because they was destroyed in this process, because you wouldn't stand up, help get this message out, you was blocking it. You think they're gonna think about you? I tell you, like Muhammad said, he wouldn't be in these preacher shoes. They was made of gold and silver and diamonds. Because once our people rise up, the last thing you want to do is be a preacher, reverend or whatever, because they're gonna make popsicles out of you. Yeah, your congregation, because they're gonna realize you was a big liar. You was a demon lying to them. They make popsicles out of you. I hope you understand what that means. Okay, brother and sister, we're gonna leave it there. But you're pacified. You have to pacify it. Or you got to start asking questions. Turn to the NFL and NBA. Start asking questions that will disrupt your programming. Start deprogramming yourself. And then once you do that, those you got sense enough to do it, right away, you're going to find demons surrounding you. But then you're going to see demons clearly because their whole purpose is to stop you from asking questions, to reprogram you. See? And why you listen to that stuff? And if they can't get you back online, deactivate you, or you're going to run a lot of resistance. I've been doing for 30-some years. You can't believe the resistance I've been under. Because you draw them out. But that's their job. But they know something wrong with you. All of a sudden you asking a question, you ain't supposed to be doing that. I'm going to prove it. You can't prove any of these religions, not one of them. But we understand, brothers and sisters. We'll leave it there. Okay, for our audio audience, thank you for listening. This is the Black Alert segment, Fire Zone. Fire Zone out. For your video audience, thank you for listening. Hope you understand. Assalamu alaikum.